And now our host, Kevin.
Yay. Good evening.
Good evening. Oh,
Hey,
Kev.
Somebody said they have a question.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I think that all of us have had a problem one time or another trying to send a text message to somebody that has a Samsung phone or something else running on Android. But I can send a text message to my son who has a Samsung telephone. I have to go into my contacts and make a special contact that just has his telephone number and no email address. And I can use that. I got a new iPad Pro and I cannot send him a text message using that telephone number. It keeps saying not delivered. Anything you could give me that might help?
Yeah, what you need to do is on your phone, or is it in the iPad? I don't have an iPad in front of me, but you have to make sure that you could forward text messages from your phone to that iPad.
Do you have any idea where I need to look to find that information?
Yeah, on your phone, go into settings, down to messages.
Phone or my iPad?
First on your phone.
Okay, well, see, and like I said, I can send him messages from my.
I understand that.
Okay.
But go down to your phone, and I don't have my phone with me. If Roger, do you have your phone with you? Okay, if you go down to the messages part, there should be something that says something similar to send with local devices or seen on other devices. I don't remember exactly what it says.
I'm looking in the system preferences under messages.
Right.
Yeah, it says text message forwarding.
That's it.
I've got send as SMS.
No, it's above that.
Send read receipts, text message forwarding. Is that
Okay, select text message forwarding.
Aha,
And you see how your iPad is turned off?
my iPad's turned off. You're right.
Turn it on.
Yes, sir. I can do that.
Now, I believe on your iPad, you have to make sure that iMessage and messaging is turned on.
I've looked around in the preferences on the iPad and I didn't see anything that looked even like that.
Well, until you're sharing it with your phone, your iPad won't see your phone.
Well, they're both together now and I've just changed it. Is that, do I need to wait a little while or what's going to happen here?
Well, now go over to your iPad, try sending him a message and see if it works.
Oh, let's see what happens. It's supposed to be blue, isn't it?
Now it's supposed to be green.
It is green.
Okay,
Looks like it went. That's all it took.
that's all it took.
Thank you, sir.
Anytime.
Kevin, you need to turn on your volume.
Mic volume or,
Yeah, your mic volume and Zoom.
yeah, hold on a second. Audio. It has it for automatic.
Yeah, you don't want automatic, just the slider.
Okay, how's that?
That's much better.
Okie doke.
Thanks.
Hi, Susan. I saw you sneak in.
So I'm thinking about what to do when I get the silicon iMac. And I'm wondering, Kevin, what's the current thinking on the that device I can't remember because my memory is really horrible. the peripherals where you end up plugging all of your USB 3 connectors and so forth into
Yeah,
the bridge.
anything it'll all have a Thunderbolt 4 port, which is
Exactly.
USB-C 4, which is backwards compatible with Thunderbolt 3, USB 3 and 2. If you're going to get an iMac, though, I would wait till the next generation.
Oh, next generation of what?
Whatever iMac they come out with, because with yesterday's announcement,
Yeah.
the question I have is, Apple went from the M1 to the M1 Pro and the M1 Max, and that's kind of nice. But what really threw me was the fact that the current iMac maxes out at 16 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
The MacBook Pro starts at 32. They don't even have a 16 gigabyte option. So what is their thinking, and why does the MacBook Pro need to have a minimum of 32?
Yeah.
So if you get, say, M1 with only 16, in a year or two from now, are you going to find yourself that you actually need more RAM?
I believe that the MacBook Pros with the M1 Pro processor are 16 and 32.
No,
If you get
32 and
If you
64.
get one with the M1 Max, it's 3264.
I don't, let me double check that. Mac.
I'm checking my notes too.
This is a little something we could have a meetings.
M1 Pro chip up to 32 gig RAM.
Okay.
M1 Max chip up to 64 gig RAM.
So the question is, when you select the Pro, yeah, 16, 32 or 32.
Got it, huh?
Yeah.
But you know, they're offering that much memory in the iMac only going up to 16. I'm wondering if they're going to limit it and people will feel, you know, find out in a year from now they actually need more memory, because it is unified memory and the iMac does have a decent display in it.
Then they sell the iMac, the MacBook Pro they have today, and get one with the M1 Max chip tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, I think the people who are going to need 64 gigs of RAM in a portable computer know who they are.
Well, according to Apple, the way that they explained how RAM works with the M1, you would think that nobody would ever need anything above 32. So they're thinking on the M1 Max where it starts at 32. And everybody I know that's getting an M1 MacBook Pro, even people that are not high-end users, are going with the Max.
There's a message for you.
For the extra $200, it just doesn't make sense.
Yes, we've been thoroughly trained by Intel to max out that RAM.
Right.
Well, the next portable computer I'm going to buy will probably just be the MacBook Air with 8. I don't have big needs for my portable machine.
That's if they come out with a newer one.
Yeah. Or buy, you know, one that they're making today, sometime down the road as a refurb.
Mhm.
But for the 27 or bigger iMac that I really want, I probably would go with, if they're made it today with the same guts that they're putting in the MacBook Pro, I would probably go with the M1 Pro chip and 32. because I don't need the M1 Max. I'm not making movies here. And I think,
Right, but, okay, here's my thinking on that, Bob.
okay,
You have an M1 Pro with 16 gigs of RAM. To go up to 32 gigs of memory costs you $400 with the Pro.
okay.
To go up from an M1 Pro to an M1 Max, then with 32 gigs of memory is only $200.
Well, you make a very convincing argument. And fortunately, I don't have to take my card out of my wallet today.
Yeah, me
Because-
either.
And I will endeavor to remember that when I am looking to buy the whatever they call the iMac in the future. Of course,
Yeah,
I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday, so that may not happen.
Yeah, these machines look really nice, but unfortunately, I need Intel for what I do. So,
Well, the prices are going down.
oh, I have a client / friend that's buying the M1 Max chip one, and he's going to swap out my 2017 for his 2019. So I get the latest and greatest Intel
Okay,
at no charge. So I have to give up my old computer, but I think it's a fair deal.
okay. I do have a question, but let's somebody else have a question first. Anybody else with a question for Kevin?
Actually, I do have one, Kevin. Do you,
Chris.
I've mentioned before how I have an LG external monitor on my M1 Mac Mini, and it's connected via USB-C. There's also an option, which I haven't tried, to connect it via HDMI. And I'm wondering, I had heard that USB-C was preferred, but the one shortcoming of my setup is that the function 1 and function 2 buttons for the screen brightness don't work. And I would dearly love it if I could restore the functionality to those buttons. But as far as I remember, they don't work with external monitors, right?
They work on mine. I have an LG, I have two 27-inch Thunderbolt ones.
Does it control both of them?
Let me see. When I move the mouse over to the right display, let me see which one is the brightness here. Actually, no, they're not doing anything. That's the F1 and F2 keys.
Right.
Nope, they're not doing anything on mine. I thought they did.
Well, at least
Yes.
they're consistent.
Well, it's a 4K monitor, which includes a lot of brightness and glare as it is, which is fine when I'm in Photoshop and Lightroom. But, when I'm not, I just as soon be able to turn that down.
There's an app called Lunar, I think, or God, I'm trying to remember the name of it, that you could set preferences for your monitor based on different conditions.
I did download one that is called, oh, I hope I can find it now.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, but
It's
Right.
something like Easy Res.
no, Easy Res doesn't cut it. I know which one you're talking about.
Okay.
Might the app be Luna, Luna?
No, that's something totally different.
Okay,
Yeah, it's called Lunar, Lunar, and it says intelligent adaptive brightness for your external display.
Wow. Okay. Is that available through the App Store?
No, it's Lunar, LUNAR.FYI.
I will check it out. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd love it to be able to control that brightness again. There's a joystick that LG puts at the bottom, which I guess people who are used to that stuff, particularly in the PC world, are used to doing that stuff, but I find it very cumbersome.
Yeah, and also one other thing to say, most of the LG monitors that I've seen also have a DP port on it. I don't know if yours does or not.
I think it does.
Get a DP to USB-C cable, and from experience, I've seen better luck with that for controls, and just standard resolution is just better.
Yeah, the DP's had square port, right?
Yeah, it's that square with a slight notch on one side.
Okay.
And you could get one of those to a USB-C cable.
I will certainly take a look.
And they're not that expensive on Amazon.
Sure. Any recommendation on quality, brand, vendor?
No.
Okay. Pretty much all the same.
Yeah, just get something that says, I usually go with anything that says gold plated, just to play it safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you all have probably talked about the off-brand lightning cables and the problems with those.
Yeah, I've actually got a 10-foot cable for my MacBook Pro that I use in the bedroom for power. I leave the brick on the side of my nightstand, and I just use that to power it. And I have a habit of tripping over it, so they break. This time I went, I found one that says it's 100-watt PD, Thunderbolt 4, with the chip backwards compatible with Thunderbolt 3 for $15. And I
Jeez.
tried it out, and it works flawlessly.
Amazing.
And I was totally amazed. I thought I was going to buy it and return it because it didn't meet the specs. But it's got the Thunderbolt 3 chip in it.
Interesting.
Kevin, you must be tripping wrong.
Right.
No, it's just my MacBook Pro is sitting on the dresser, and I get up in the middle of the night and forget the cable's there. They have a habit of popping out, and right where the cable goes into the MacBook kind of bends, and it, you know.
Not good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I've gone through 3 or 4 of them over the last few years.
Well, I have a
Yeah, that's
question for Kevin and Roger and maybe Tony. I have to go see a client tomorrow who has a brand new in the box M1 MacBook Air, and I need to transfer the information from her 2011 MacBook Pro. What is the best way to do that? Is it using a Ethernet cable or using Wi-Fi?
Neither. Okay, 2011, what you need to do, unfortunately, they're USB 2. By any chance, do you have a Thunderbolt 2 dock laying around?
As a matter of fact, I do. I have a Thunderbolt 2 dock for my 2016 MacBook Pro.
Okay, so, well, no, 2016 uses USB-C. 2015 uses Thunderbolt. So,
Okay. No, I don't.
Okay.
Then I don't have a Thunderbolt dock.
okay, because usually what I do is I have a portable Thunderbolt dock that I keep in the car that has a USB 3 connector on it. And I back up their computer to an SSD. Then after you do the installation, you restore it with that SSD plugged into their computer. You could also get a Thunderbolt 3 to Thunderbolt 2 adapter and do it that way, but it's extremely slow.
Well, I have done it with a Ethernet cable, and it took a long time. But
Yeah.
it did work. Luckily, this client is not far from where I live, so I'll probably go over there, get the process started. I'll see you in the afternoon. Give me a call when it's done.
I have done that before.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I do.
That's what
So-
you do, Roger?
Yep, I go to lunch.
Well, then I'm
Yeah, I
glad I've made the appointment for 10 a.m.
There you go.
Yeah, Mark, I did that for your daughter, if you remember. So, yeah, if you have the right equipment, you could do it fairly fast. It really depends on how much data she has and what type of drive is in the 2011.
I think the amount of data on the hard drive is like around 100 gigabytes.
Then it shouldn't take you more than an hour to move that data.
Okay. I will make the sign of the cross, bring a candle with me, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks for your expertise.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Kevin,
Yes.
I have a dumb question.
Only dumb question is the one that's not asked, as my teachers
Okay.
have always told me.
What happened was that I hit some key and I don't know which one, but it took all my files and put them into folders.
On your desktop, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, under it's Command-Shift-0. Should undo that.
We will try that.
Yeah, just make sure you click on the desktop first.
It didn't happen to my my laptop. I didn't, whatever I didn't do the same thing to it. It was only my desktop.
Yeah, it's what it is. It's using what's called stacks.
Oh,
And if you go under the view menu, there's an option for viewing stacks. It's actually, yeah, it says Command-Shift-0. And then if you undo it, you uncheck to use stacks and it goes back to normal.
oh, okay. We will try that.
Anybody else?
Software do you people use to synchronize to computers?
iCloud is the best way. That's if you need to synchronize your desktop and your documents folder.
Right. So is there any way in mail, in the move to drop down or dialog box to reorder the mailboxes that are in the move to?
No, I believe they're alphabetical.
No, they're not.
I'm looking at mine and they are in the order that they're on in the sidebar. So if you change it in the sidebar, it should change.
Mine aren't. But I use Small Cube, the suite.
You use what?
Small mail tags and mail act on.
Right, but if you have, you know how you have on iCloud and you have folders in there?
Very few.
Those folders can be reordered so that when you use your move to, they'll be in the order of whatever you set that up as.
I have several email accounts that don't have iCloud, Gmail and others.
Right, it would be the same thing. In your inboxes, it would be based on the location in the sidebar. So if you have an email on top and then underneath that, the second one, the move to will be in the order that you have it in the sidebar.
Well, not here.
So
Well, mine
that's
doesn't do
it's
that.
working here. And I just made some changes. I had to quit mail, restarted, and then it took the changes and made them the way that they are.
When I go in, start, stop, whatever I do, to quit it, I've got a different order and I can't get it to make, I set up the order, I would like them on the sidebar, but the move to doesn't reflect that.
That I don't know.
So that means I need a new M1X Pro.
Sure. And like I've told several of the other people that I know, if you need one, make sure you buy two,
Okay.
and I'll give you free tech support for a year.
All right. Thanks. I'll take you up on that.
That'd be cheap at half the price.
Yeah, not the configuration I'd want.
Kevin,
Yes.
I asked you earlier about, I get this little pop-up every time I start up my machine that says drive pulse trial has expired and so on and so forth. I never even tried drive pulse, but it keeps popping up. And then there's also a button on the bottom that says purchase Drive Genius. So I've looked everywhere I went to. I checked everywhere to see if there was anything from the developer, ProSoft. Yep. I don't see anything from ProSoft. I don't see anything from Drive Genius, Drive Pulse.
Did you get the email that I sent you with the reply to that?
I did.
Where to look?
Doesn't work. I just don't know how to get rid of it. It's not a big problem. It's just that, once I restart the Mac for any reason, that little pop-up is in the middle and I can dismiss it.
Do this, double click on your hard drive.
I'll try to do this without screwing something up here.
Well, that's one of the things.
Hey, Doriana.
Let me know when it's open.
Well, do you want overview, displays, system report, what?
No. You know how it says Macintosh HD on your desktop?
Well, it used to, it doesn't anymore.
Okay, yeah. Under the Apple menu, I guess, or under the Finder menu, go to your Finder preferences and turn on local disks.
I don't see local disks.
It'll say hard disks under general. It'll say show these items on the desktop.
Don't see it.
Okay, in Finder, go into the Finder menu, go to Preferences.
Okay.
Click on General and make sure hard disks is checked.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, now on your desktop, you should have something called Macintosh HD or whatever you named it. You want to double click on that.
It was named Macintosh HD, but it's not on the desktop.
It might be behind something.
How about look at sidebar under preferences?
Yeah, in the Finder window, you can look in your sidebar.
And then check them there.
I've got the sidebar open.
Okay, click on, do you see anything that says your hard drive or your computer name?
Under locations.
Yep, on locations on the top should have something like
Under favorites.
iMac or MacBook Pro, whatever you're using.
General tag sidebar and advanced.
So at least two places.
No. In Doc, click on Finder.
Okay.
Window comes up on the left-hand side, all the way on top. What does it say?
On the very top, it says Dropbox.
Okay, below Dropbox.
downloads.
Okay, so that's your favorites. Does it have something that says locations there? With the drop-down menu?
Nope. There is one that's for me though.
Okay, click on that.
Okay, this is where I went originally when you started talking about going into the
Okay,
library.
yeah, there, you went to the wrong place, that's why. So what you need to do is hold down the are you in your home folder right now?
Yes.
Okay, click down on the command key and up on very top, click on the name of your folder.
Okay.
And you want to travel up to the root level of your hard drive. It'll probably say Macintosh HD or
Okay.
something like that. Now double click on library.
Okay.
Double click on application support.
Yep.
Look for a folder that says Drive Genius with nothing else.
Yeah, this is the one that we did. I put it in the trash and Drive Genius. I don't see it.
It won't have a space. It'll just be Drive Genius by itself.
No, not there. Because I threw it away. That was what you told me to toss out, and I did.
That's the location of Drive. Drive Pulse is part of Drive Genius.
Right. I'm just looking to see if there's anything here from ProSoft, a folder for ProSoft, or there isn't.
No, it doesn't say ProSoft. Another thing that you could do is get a copy of Easy Find by Devin
Yeah.
and just type in Drive Genius with no space
Okay.
and have it do a search for that.
All right.
And if not, worst case scenario, let me know one day we could do a screen share and I could go through and I could get rid of it for you.
All right.
Just do it in Spotlight?
Nah, Spotlight doesn't do system files.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay.
I'll keep looking.
I've got the question kind of along the same line, but it's about notifications. When I boot my machine, the notifications that come up at boot time tell me that Maps now has Tucson transit info in it, and that's at least 6 months old, even older. Any hints on how to tell Maps, yes, yes, I know, and get it to stop displaying that?
Yeah, go into Notification Center in the system preferences,
Yeah,
scroll down to Maps and turn off notifications.
okay,
There's really nothing in Maps that you need to be notified about.
this is true. Thank you.
You're welcome.
When do you have to start worrying about a battery? Mine says currently charged 77% battery capacity, 80% with the battery monitor. But I've got it connected all the time through my 27-inch LG.
I would let on any laptop that has a battery, at least once every other month, let the battery drain all the way down to 0. Let it sit for 4 to 5 hours and then plug it back in.
Okay.
You may get some capacity back, you may not, but usually when it's below 70% or below 80%, Apple wants you to replace it. Yeah, what type of MacBook Pro do you have, Tommy?
2019.
Well, the good news and bad news is they charge you to replace the battery. That's the bad news. The good news is it's only $200. And when they replace it, they give you another 90-day warranty on your computer, and they replace the battery, the keyboard, the trackpad, everything that's on top of the bottom part of the laptop.
Wow. They won't do that with Apple Care?
Or if you have Apple Care on it, just let them know, call them up, tell them that you'd like to send your laptop into the depot. They will send you a box, put the laptop in the box. wait until Monday to ship it out, and chances are you'll get it back by Thursday.
What about
If
doing
you-
it at what about doing it at Simutech?
You could do that, but Simutech usually takes longer. Because they have, unless they have it in stock, they have to order the battery. They have to wait for it to come in, then they go through everything. And you don't get a warranty on your laptop. Depends on when your warranty is up. If it's like towards the end of the warranty, Apple gives you 90 days from the repair. Any problems with your laptop, Simutech doesn't do that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So Kevin, I tried Lunar and I hit something called reset monitor and my monitor went black. Yeah, well, I'm on the iPad now, so which I love, by the way, for video conferencing because it has that center stage software, which I find very handy. Any thoughts on resetting? Is there an option Command PR to reset the monitor?
No, just use the button on the bottom.
Yeah,
and chances are when you reset the monitor, it might have just changed the input.
Oh.
Chris, I think you're on the dark side of the Lunar.
Very funny.
Don't say that
Yeah.
around Sue. She'll get mad at me. They have a new watch out called the Dark Side of the Moon.
Kevin, I recently got oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Tommy.
I recently got a 4K LG that I have as a second monitor, and I power that one directly and connect it to my MacBook Pro. So I've got power essentially coming from two sides. Is that okay?
Yes, it is, but I don't believe the 4K monitors have PD delivery. It's only USB, standard USB-C. And if you're using standard USB-C, you may be able to daisy chain that to your first monitor.
Oh. Okay. Instead of plugging it into my MacBook Pro?
Correct.
That's it's preferable?
It's whatever is easier for you is preferable.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Hey, Chris, your camera there actually makes you look better. You're the one you're using right now. That's my opinion.
Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, I like it because I'm, you know, I've never been a sit still kind of person anyway. And finally it's paying off because with my arthritis and stuff, I need to keep moving a lot. So it's good to be able to move around and see if I move back here, the camera will actually come find me.
Yes, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody totally grasped what center stage was all about when Apple introduced the new iPads. And it's got I guess the 1080p camera in the front. And to me, it's worth half the price of the iPad. So that way I have my machine back, you know, and I can do all the video conferencing on the iPad. It works great.
Yeah.
So I'm still sort of exploring what iPad land in 2021 means, since my last one was from 2014.
Oh my God.
It was sort of it was sort of a super big iPhone back then. And those days have changed.
They sure have. Yeah.
Well, Chris, maybe what you should do is look into a stand for your iPad so we don't get the nasal view all the time.
Right. Well, what I normally do when my computer is working properly is I put it over here in front of the monitor, and that way I can sort of sit back and then it'll come down. But I agree, it could be a little bit higher. So I'll work on that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob. That's a
Which
good
iPad did you
suggestion.
get?
I just got the low end one, the 9th generation, because I wanted it to pre-flight some photos, and I'm still experimenting with how to do that with Lightroom Mobile. And the bottom 3 all have the same storage, whether it's the 9th generation or the Mini or the iPad Air. They have 64 and 256, and that's it.
Mhm.
So I thought, well, why spend the extra money? And everything I have is Lightning anyway, so I didn't really need a US, BC iPad. And so far it's working out. I'm sure the other models are faster and better, but for what I'm trying to do, this seems to be working just fine.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Well, we're going to stop the recording right now.